All right, guys. Hi again. So it's hard for me because I don't want to really get the videos so super long because everybody gets really bored of watching them. I've been talking to you guys a lot about the Belbuca that I'm on 600 now, and my pain management doctor and I started out in the very beginning, guys, having a horrible relationship. When I first went to her, all she was doing was just taking me off of medicine. My doctor said, after all those years of writing me my prescription drugs, and I was in so much pain, she just always would just give me my pain medication. And she didn't even tell me, basically to go to specialist. You just write prescriptions. Then all of a sudden one day she's like, oh, hey, the laws are changed, I can't give this to you anymore, but I have a pain management doctor that you can go to. I went to them, and first appointment with them is, we got to get you off of these. And I just panicked. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, do you understand what I go through every day? Not only just do I have fibromyalgia, but I was held up at gunpoint. I held this gun in my hands because I knew he shot a girl at Dairy Queen just like a week past. I was telling my employees about him. I didn't think he was going to be watching my store. I was a manager, and I held onto the gun with my life, and I tore both of my shoulders, the rotary cup. I ruptured disc in my back. My back, since then, I've ruptured more and had back surgery, shoulder surgeries. I have two bulging discs in my neck, and then I developed fibromyalgia right afterwards. And I then have PTSD. I have an extensive anxiety, and you name it. I have nerve damage. I have a leg that gives out on me sometimes when I walk. And I was just telling the doctor, like, you realize that I'm not just here because I want to have drugs. I want you to help me. And the second thing was, well, let's just give you injections. And I'm like, no, I can't have any more injections. I've had more injections of steroids into my body than what one person is, or let's say amount of three people are supposed to have within a year. So that means no more, because what I'm at risk as I get older to have brittle bones, and then I will have just breaking my bones for no reason, and then I'm going to be in a really bad spot. So we can't go that route. And I've taken enough Motrin 800 to probably take care of 10 people the rest of their life. And so their thing was, I'm sorry, we can't let you now have your benzoids anymore. And they took me off of my benzoids, and it led to a nervous breakdown. And I was left with laying in bed crying, saying that I would never in my life consider taking my life, but what do you want me to do, because I can't survive this way? I'm sorry. It's a very emotional, because I want everybody to understand. I know what you guys are feeling like. I know the way the doctors are treating you. I know that they're making you feel like that you're just here for drugs, that you're just wanting your pain medicine. They're not treating you like you're a human being, and they're taking medications away from you. And I'm only crying because I know what I went through. I was in the emergency room from November, 6 months, 5 or 6 times. And I would go because I was so broken. And I had all the muscles, even in my head and my face, guys, were so tight. I never thought you had muscles in your scalp. Every muscle in my face. I couldn't even smile. I couldn't even open my mouth and close my mouth. It was so tight. And I was in so much pain. And I would go, and there would be nothing that nobody would do for me. And they would take me into the hospital, and then the next day they would send me home. And it just, you feel like at that point nobody can help you. And I even had a bout where, when the neck got so tight, I kept telling him, I feel like, because I'm swelling, I gained 10 pounds in 3 days, and it was water. I was just swelling all up. We went to the hospital because I had called my doctor and she gave me Lasix, which is a strong water pill. I took it and I no water. I didn't lose any water. I started having horrible symptoms, and I guess I can't remember if I felt like passing out. And I went to the hospital and my sodium dropped out and I was this close to dying, and I basically almost went into ICU. I almost lost my life. And the doctors don't even listen to you, that it's because they've taken your anxiety medication away. You have severe PTSD, you have severe anxiety, and now you're in agony, and all they do is just keep taking your pain medication away, all the while still making us feel like that we are drug addicts, that that's all we want. And I have such a heartfelt desire to help anybody out there that feels this way, that just feels like that you're being treated, that you're not worthy, I guess, for them to try to look at you as a person. I understand that the drug administration has changed, and I understand that they have to reduce the amount of opioids that are being distributed. But guys, now that I have found this other medication, I understand that we don't have to depend on those anymore. And if you want your life back, then get on this new journey and get off of all these opioids. I've had people tell me how scared they are because they're thinking, well, what if I get off of these and I still have pain? Guys, you won't have the pain. You won't have breakthrough pain. My story is from the 12 hours to 12 hours that I put a film in. I can know when it's wearing off 12 hours. I can feel it, but I'll just put another one in, and then I'm good for 12 hours again. If you're on the Butrans patch, it's the same way. It's 1 week, you're going to put a new patch on before you feel pain. Guys, this is a miracle. I'm not kidding you. I don't want anybody to have to go through what I've went through. I haven't even began to tell my story. There was also a time where it was, they were trying to wean me off of opioids, and they were this was at the very beginning, and I didn't sleep for 6 nights because the effects of what opioids does to your body, they didn't give me anything at all. I was withdrawing from the side effects of what opioids were doing because they were cutting me down, and they called in trazodone. I was desperate because after 6 days of not sleeping, you guys can imagine what would happen. So I took only half a pill. My husband was in the recliner, and next thing I know, I was in the kitchen. I was grabbing a drink, and I remember screaming like, I'm gonna go down. I think I remember saying that. And I woke up on my living room floor where my husband was on the phone with 911. I'll never forget the sound of what it was like for him, because he was bringing me back to life because I stopped breathing. And all I remember is going in and out, and I remember that the emergency people were here. So I've had so many times that I almost lost my life on this venture. The last 10 years of being in pain and being on medication, I didn't know that I'd be allergic to trazodone, but they gave that to me because they let me down. They were just trying to reduce it because the Drug Administration said, hey, we got to go 30% less in the United States, so let's reduce it down. And they didn't care. They didn't care to give us anything else. They made us suffer when we were already suffering. So, this is why I created a Facebook group, and I go on YouTube, and I'm a big baby, but I've been through a lot, and so have you guys. And I have gotten some people that says, man, I'm hearing your story, and that's just like me. That's what I feel like. And there's just so many of us that have been let down. And I just feel like, what if we all band together and take the information that we're learning? And I know God wants me here for a reason. Maybe it's just to help you guys on the other end. But you guys deserve to have a life, and not just a life living in pain, but you have you have a right, and you have he wants, I believe he wants you here for a reason, to live life and to do it in the way you're supposed to, and not what we would want us to. Like, I wish I was my old self and I could dance again and I could do everything. Well, that's not his choice. Okay, I get that now, but I'm now trying to find the new me, and I'm excited because I'm learning things about myself that I never ever knew. But number one, guys, you know what? We can do this, and I want to hear your stories. I want to know what you're going through, and if you need help, at the bottom of the videos, you have to scroll down after every video, and then you can comment on the video. I put my Facebook group in there. So I don't care what you have. I have fibromyalgia, back issues. I have a two-toed shoulders. I don't care what you have. If you're in chronic pain or you feel anything trapped into this medical world, guys, get in our group. I just say that we're a whole new kind of family. So please hang on. I don't want to hear of one other person taking their life or one other person losing their life due to all of this. So it's not something I would like to get on here and let you guys see me cry, but you know what? This is the real deal, and it's hard for me to talk about things, and I rarely do talk about stuff, because when I do, it brings back all the emotions of what really I have had to go through. But maybe testifying can help somebody else. So I love you guys all. Join the group so at least I can have contact with you if you need me for anything. And together with everybody now in our support group, that we're trying to find new ways to get these doctors to help and how to approach them so they're not going to have an attitude. And also the ones that don't know about this new medicine can help us slowly, surely get into it. You know, it's just going to take time, but for us right now that needs it, you know, let's work together and see what we can do. Bless you guys. Bless you all. Love you all. Talk to you soon.